Hey guys, what's up? It's Krim, and today I've got a short video update for you about the Outlaw AoE reroll logic. Now, a few weeks ago I did a video on the single target reroll logic. It's a good watch if you haven't watched it already. And I also touched on AoE. Since then, things have changed a little bit. The corruption vendor was introduced, for example. So I'm here today to talk you guys through what's up. And firstly, you want to make sure you have the Simulation Craft add-on installed, and I'll leave a link to that in the description if you are unsure. The next step I'll talk you through as well is to go to raidbots.com and go to the advanced sim tab. Now we're on third. Thirdly, there's going to be a paste bin that I'll also leave in the description, which has a whole bunch of different AoE reroll logics. A big old document. So we're going to go ahead and copy all of that right into here. If you scroll to the top, you'll see this line here. Put your character's SimCraft right under there. So what you want to do once you have the Simulation Craft add-on installed is type /simc in your chat in-game. Copy all of that. And we go back to the advanced sim. Now put that right under here. And we run a sim. Now I just want to point out a couple of things before we start. There's desired targets 3, which means we're simming 3 targets. And you have to make sure that the fight style is set to patchwork and not dungeon slice. I know not many people use dungeon slice, but if you set it to dungeon slice, it will override anything that you put in here. So let's go ahead and run this sim now. And while we do that, I'll talk you through a little bit more of the AoE stuff that we got going on. So now let's talk a little bit about AoE reroll situations and what to look out for when you are rerolling. First of all, I want to stress that Skull and Crossbones is still a terrible buff to have in AoE because keep your wits about you overrides it. So if you have that plus another terrible buff, reroll it straight away. And even as a single buff, you want to get rid of that crap as soon as possible. Now, secondly, rerolling in AoE still feels kind of terrible because you want to blast with your Blade Flurry, right? However, I also want to stress that this patch does not do a lot of damage for what you put into it, and like I said in the previous video that I talked about before, a lot of our damage in AoE comes from blade flurrying off pistol shots, sinister strikes between the eyes, and this patch is honestly still below all of that. So when should I not reroll in AoE? First among those is going to be Blood of the Enemy. If you've popped Blood of the Enemy, you don't want to be rerolling at all. You want to get as much damage as you can into that window of extra crit. Most of the time it's going to be worth rerolling in AoE. The sims show that clearly, and the sim performs your rotation in an AoE situation thousands and thousands of times. And rerolling is, well, we'll find out once the sim completes. Rerolling is usually the best option. Now there are some niche situations where there's a really dangerous pack and you want to kill it as fast as possible. That's somewhere where you might not want to reroll. And a good example of this is the 2 tentacle packs before Lord Stormsong, I think the 3rd boss in Shrine of the Storm. These tentacles deal a ridiculous amount of damage, and you want to get them down as fast as possible. So once you have a buff, you just start blasting. Now there are more situations like that, but they are few and far between. One other time when you might not want to reroll is if a boss is going to die in the next, say, 20 seconds, and there's going to be some downtime after that, because it's not worth rerolling. Then you just keep what you got and you blast the boss and kill it. Now let's have a look at our sim from before, and there we go. I'll talk you through the results a little bit here. So top for me, although it is very close to this, is going to be Broadsides, Grand Melee and True Bearing, funnily enough. And second is going to be just Broadsides. Now personally, I would go for this. This is within margin of error because you're going to hit this far more often than you're going to hit this, right? Now, interestingly enough, the crit buff, Ruthless Precision, has fallen down, not much, but still quite a bit. I think that's because of the corruption vendor allowing us to stack crit and strike through, which kind of reduces the value of the crit buff. I want to point out that this was a 3-target sim, but luckily, here's a sim I prepared earlier, which was a 6-target sim. As you can see, this is almost the same, except this is going to pull away a bit more than it is on the 3-target sim. Now all the other abbreviations here should speak for themselves. They're all abbreviations for all of the buffs, except the bottom one here, default also during BF downtime. And what that means is you use the default logic that I mentioned in the other video, which is you keep Ruthless Precision, Ground Melee, and Broadsides. You also keep this during Blade Flurry downtime. So, I mean, for me personally, in both sims, it's crap. Don't do that. As you can see in both situations, Broadsides, Ground Melee, and True Bearing are starting to pull ahead quite far, though to be fair, we're talking maybe 1% difference here between the old reroll logic and the new top, but still every little bit helps. And with that, we've reached the end of the video, and I hope it was both short and helpful for you guys. If you have any other questions or comments, or there's something you don't understand, feel free to leave a comment, or you can catch me on my stream on twitch.tv/crimwow. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one.